What's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone. I'm joined by Chosen again. Chosen, last time that you were on, I made kind of an offhand comment. I'm like, we should make this a weekly segment, man. And a lot of people in the comments were like, yes, do it. So, well, here we are. I can't say it's going to be guaranteed weekly, but another kind of behind the scenes cracking the code type of video about Raid Shadow Legends. First off, bro, how you doing? It's been a week.
Hey, doing great. And cheers, Ash's viewers. Thank you for the kind words. It's always fun to stop over here and say hi. So yeah, no, the more you want to collab, the better, in my opinion. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I said it every time. I'm going to say it again. I love your channel. Love the news. Love like how in-depth you go behind the scenes. I guess, I don't know, behind the scenes is probably not the right terminology, but deep dives into a variety of stuff in Raid Shadow Legends. So before we talk about this is a crazy topic. You just dropped a video on it. You asked me if I wanted to collab and chat about it. Of course I do. And it's interesting because it has ramifications for every player depending on where you are in the game, right? Like early game, mid game, and late game players. Before we get to any of that stuff, I just want like give me a 30-second rundown or whatever of your quick take on the blessings. Because I don't know about you, but my subscribers, it's like every comment I feel like, or every top comment on my videos the last a couple days, obviously, have been about the blessings. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I was talking, I did a video, shout out to my friend Colbrew. I was talking with him over on his channel, and he was asking of me about it as well. So I kind of rehearsed this answer a little bit. But
okay.
but yeah, so, I'm not the type to like rant or be negative or scream and shout about things. But I do think this is one of those times where the backlash is probably warranted because they kind of nerfed a mechanic that people spend real money to get to a lot of times via gems to change stuff or via the soul stones to summon stuff. Then they nerf it, and then they don't give people a free way to adjust for that nerf. So I think that's kind of like the nail in the coffin for it being really, really negative. If you're going to adjust blessings and nerf them, you should at least let people kind of change and adapt to that.
I completely agree with you, man. I don't have a ton to add except for the thing that strikes me, and maybe I'm alone here, I don't have no idea, but like the thing that strikes me the dirtiest, and I can say this because I'm one of them, but like it's weird that they barely did anything to like the whales. So like the big spenders, man, it's still basically the same, like my 6-star fully, but like it's the lower levels, which is
better.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. So like I'm pulling up right now like a 6-star blessing, Dracomorph or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, dude, like that's awesome. Nothing, it's to your point, it's either better or the same basically, but it's all the players that really don't spend any money or a lot of money that are affected the most. People who have 1 or 2-star champions and blessings and awakenings, that's what really freaking sucks to me. Anyway, I'll digress. Another topic for another video, but we could, make another video out of that. Talk to me a little bit here about why are 2-time events, which we have a Void one coming up in just a couple days here, why are 2-time events not really 2-time events? I'm going to pull up the sheet here too in the background.
Sure. Yeah. So we've got 2x voids coming up this weekend. And so the reason that I kind of said they're not actually 2x is because when people see, oh, it's double the chance to get a legendary, that means over a large sample size, I'm going to get exactly twice as many legendaries because it's double the odds. But it's actually not true because, for instance, this weekend with Void Shards, your average RNG is going to be 87.3 Void Shards per legendary. And outside of
over
2x,
here, guys. Yep. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, your problem. You're good. And then outside of a 2x, it's only 128.5. So it's actually not twice as good because if it was twice as good, you'd be getting one every 64-ish void shards, but you're not. You're getting one every 87.5 or whatever. And the reason that kind of that like gap in the math happens is because when they do a 2x event, they don't adjust the mercy system to match it. The mercy system is always left alone. It's always 200 for void shards. So for it to be an actual 2x, they would need to also adjust the mercy system down to 100 instead of 200.
Okay. I was just going to tell you to break it down in that way for the dumb folks out there like me. So what you're trying to say to me is because they don't impact the mercy, which this is basically a shard or a copy of summon math, right? So this is a summoning math. This is the breakdown. These are the odds to get a legendary on your first shard, on this shard, odds to get no legendaries on this shard, odds to get legendaries in the first shard, et cetera, and it scales all the way down. Basically, you're not guaranteed a shard until, oh my word, 220 ancients or voids. That's when you're finally guaranteed
Yep.
a
Yep.
legendary. All right, and
Yep.
then on sacreds it is 66 is when, or 59, excuse me,
Yep.
is when
Yep.
you're guaranteed 100%, even though it's probably going to happen way earlier than that. Mostly around by your 20th or so, right? Or
Yep,
give or
yep.
take.
You're down in the decimals already in the early 20s. So yeah,
Okay.
you're like you're very rarely gonna make it past 20 sacred shards.
Okay, so on a 2-time event, you really have, when you factor in the mercy system not being reset, and I just looked in the shard portal, I don't, unless I'm missing something, which I could be, I'm not seeing it documented anywhere that the mercy system is not impacted. Is that somewhere out there?
I I think they kind of just sneak that in there that they don't adjust the mercy system during a 2x event.
Okay.
And we've always kind of known that it's not necessarily a nefarious thing that playing is
Yeah.
doing.
Because they've
But
said that to us, like not behind the scenes, but they
yeah,
said you can share this with your subscribers. It won't affect the mercy. But when I read that it won't affect the mercy or whatever, like I guess maybe I'm just dumb, but like I never think about it in that regard. I never think about it like, hey, by the way, it's not really a 2-time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and it is a 2x for like epics. It's pretty close to a
For
2x.
epics. Yeah.
Yep. So it's 2x events are still probably the best opportunity to pull shards if epics are still a big deal to you. Like if you still need Allure and Maneater and Madame Ceres and these different Seer, like if you still need some of those game-changing epics, 2x events are still very good. But the point of a chart like this is once your goal is acquiring legendaries, then there's a case to be made that 2x's are not what you think they are.
Okay, I'm going to have, by the way, a link for this. I should have mentioned that earlier, but if you guys want to follow along or check it out yourself, you can go ahead and check out the entire chart, share it with your clan, etc. Thank you, Chosen, again. Okay, so let's break down what this actually means, for, an average player watching, or any player watching. So as you just mentioned, if you are early game, let's rewind a little bit. For legendaries, we're looking at like roughly, if my math is right, we're looking at like a time and a half, not a 2-time chance, right? Roughly.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
Maybe maybe a little
give
bit
or
better than that.
take.
Yeah.
Give or take, because of, again, the fact that subtly the mercy system is not affected here, right? So still a better time to pull a legendary, no matter what, right? No matter who you are, still a better time. Especially if you're a newer player or a mid-game player who needs a lot of epic champions, as you said, then, hey, it's a great time to go ahead and pull during 2-times events. My question to you is when would it make sense, and who would it make sense for to not pull? What ramifications does this have on guaranteed champion events, 10-times events, and when should you consider these things?
Yep, it means that probably, in terms of just acquiring legendaries, the best time to pull shards is when there is a bonus Lego event because yep. So and then for like super endgame players, you probably want to try and double dip when you are pulling for a champion, like when they did the guaranteed event for Riho Bone Spear. Pulling void shards during that event when you're guaranteed a Riho at 90 shards, which back then was better than now they do 110. That's a different rant for a different day.
Another video, bro.
But so what it means is for endgame, when the epics aren't important to you, that would be the opportunity where your void shards are the most value over time, because then if you pull a legendary on your way to Riho, you just got 2 legendaries out of 90 and you're guaranteed a good one being added to your account.
And as we just spoke about, otherwise, you could be facing 220 shards for a legendary. So if you're guaranteed one after 90, especially a legendary that you really want, you could pull another 1 or 2, who knows, along the way. So that's the best time. If you really want to go after a champion. Like if there's a champion that you think is worth pulling. That's interesting, because I've always, even before me, I've always been kind of a hater of the guaranteed legendary events. Like, I don't know why. I guess it's kind of anecdotal. It just feels wrong to be like, oh, I have to pull out only 100 void shards. But to your point, given this information, when you have everything in the full context, it does actually make a lot of sense. If it's gonna, I hate to say this because I think it's disgusting that they brought it up to 110 cost, but even if it's gonna be 110 shards, but it's one of the best champions out there, again, Rio is a great example. If they do, I don't know, Yumeko in the future, like, you're getting one of the best champions in the game. So it might be worth actually pulling there rather than saving your void shards for a double time event, specifically if you know there's an amazing champion.
Yeah, because you could pull, for a 2x event, and like you found out, you could pull a Fortis, and it's like, well,
Thanks for the
great.
reminder, bro. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and
Squid man over here. What the heck? I have maxed him out. I haven't even tried him yet. That's how
oh
I
no.
built him and everything. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Anybody out there have Fortis? Talk me into this, dude. Please, please. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so we talked about it. Guaranteed champions are actually a good thing, especially if you know you're near the Mercy, right? And 10-time events, I mean, there were 10 times events, they sucked, right? They still sucked, right?
Yeah, well, they when 10x events were introduced, they were actually pretty good. The problem is they've added so many legendaries that now 10x events need to be like 25x. They're just so they're way better for voids than they are for non-voids, but for non-voids, there's like 160 legendaries. Like a 10x, you're still at like we just had that chart that I sent you a couple weeks ago. You're still at like 7% chance or something to get a Kymar, even if you pull a legendary during a Kymar 10x. So
Yeah,
they really
it's
got to
awful.
beef up the non-void 10x's at least.
Yeah, you think this should be like a 20x?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for, I'm all for anything that helps the players be able to get stuff they're going after. So yeah, I mean, the more the better. 20x, 30x, whatever.
Yeah, 50x. Screw it, right? I think
Yeah,
it's time, Plarium. I think it's time. All right.
I don't know that they ever will. I don't know that they ever will, but obviously it'd be a great thing, I think.
So, do you use RSL helper to track the your Mercy time, or do you track your Mercy? Because frankly, I should, but I kind of anecdotally do in my head, but I don't normally.
Which means that you forget and have no clue what it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Exactly. I've tried to do that before.
Do you use?
I've tried to be like, I'll just remember.
I always hear about RSL helper. To be honest with you, I've never used it. Go ahead and lambast me for it, but and then I went to actually use it, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working, so I'm like, screw this. Yeah, but anyway, is that what you do? Is that how you track?
Yeah, or as long as you make sure to pull shards while you're logged into RSL Helper, it does have a section on there where it will track your Mercy for you. Now, it gets a little bit unfortunate when there's a patch like today and the game changes. Then Farbstoff, the guy that develops RSL Helper, he needs a little bit of time to. Yep. Yeah, he's awesome, and he needs a little bit of time to get it updated to work with the current version of Raid. On days like this, when RSL Helper is down, I think it's a great opportunity to use a program like BlueStacks, which we actually have within our team here. We have a free link for people to try out BlueStacks. It costs nothing. It's a free program, and it supports a lot of the content creators that you like and watch their content, like you and me and Smiley.
The whole AMZ United crew. Yeah.
That's right. The whole crew. We've got a link that BlueStacks has been nice enough to provide us with, where people can try it out for free, and it supports us. So especially on times like this, that can be a great opportunity to log into your free-to-play account and have that open, or when RSL Helper is down, pull it up and still be able to auto-click and have a program available there. So I definitely recommend BlueStacks for sure.
Awesome, man. I'll go ahead and have that link for you guys if you want to go ahead and check it out in the, I'll put it in the pinned comment in the show notes below, along with Chosen's YouTube channel. Chosen, I don't think I have any answer or any other questions, excuse me. I have no answers. I know that. I have no questions for you. Is there anything that I didn't cover about these shards? I think that we were pretty thorough in terms of when you should, when you shouldn't. And endgame players obviously should probably just always be waiting for guaranteeds for the most part, or 10 times near their Mercy, unless you just want to spend some more money.
Yep, and it's not that 2x events are horrible or bad. It's just we want people to understand what they're getting into and understand the math, that it's not actually a 2x for legendaries. So it's always nice to know exactly how you can most effectively plan on your account, and because everybody's different on their spending tiers and how they manage their shards and when they want to pull. So as long as we arm people with the information, I hope that they can kind of pick and choose when it's best for them.
Absolutely. I will still pull during 2 times. Personally, I will still pull during 2 times events, but I'm going to be way more likely to save shards and use them instead, I guess I would say, during a, to your point, a guaranteed champion that I actually really want. Just because now it seems a lot more appealing now that I know all the facts. So thanks again, Chosen, for coming on. Again, Chosen's channel, along with his video covering this topic, will be in the description below. We'll talk to you next time, man. Thanks.
Hey, it's always fun, man. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching again. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out Chosen's channel. Amazing content there, guys. Wishing you nothing but the best. Have a lovely day, evening, wherever you're watching from. And as always, take care, guys.